Ah, the long nozzles. Insert the ear tip like a condom, and you have the Aful Cantor. Oh, you dirty-minded Filipino. What I actually said is, the long nozzles. Insert the ear tip like a condom, and you have the Aful Canton. Gago! Yeah, let's talk about the Aful Cantor here from Aful, of course. Thank you so much, Hi-Fi Go, for sending this unit. Yeah, I've listened to it for the past few days. These are priced currently around $7.99. It features 14 BAs per side. You can read Aful's description about their technology and stuff. I do like how they implement bass and just the overall frequency. They're just, you know, good at what they're doing. I do like the design of this one here. It took me a while because I chose the Starry Night version. Can you see it? Yeah, maybe yes, maybe not. But yeah, the Starry Night version. So how's the fit? So again, they have long nozzles, but they actually fit like regular IEMs because the philosophy is that you insert the tip to the furthest end of the nozzle. It's basically like you're wearing you're putting the ear tip like a condom, so the fit is fine. You don't really have to insert it deeper because you can only insert it as much because of the contour. So it's not like edemotic deep fit. It's just that now the nozzles are closer to your eardrums because it's using the ear tip as a condom. Yeah, let's talk about the sound, and I'm gonna score it also while I'm talking about the overall signature of this one. If you want to know how I score IEMs, check this video right here. And so let's start. The Aful Cantor is, for me, the tonality is, I would say it's neutral, but maybe close to neutral, but I'd say it's neutral in a way that it's boosted in the sub bass and also in the treble. So it doesn't sound neutral. So I'd call it U-shaped. Yeah, let's call it U-shaped for that matter because the bass is really good on these. And the treble, it's a little bit forward in the treble and you actually hear a lot of details. The balance for me is not really right. This is just for me, okay? Because of the forwardness of the treble, it just breaks the overall balance. Although they sound natural, the timbre for instruments really sound natural. And, you know, like you might say like there's boosted treble, but how do I know it's natural? This is just me. But listening to MYMP, do you know MYMP? Make Your Mama Proud. Maybe for my generation, MYMP. I mean, when I was in high school, I practiced a lot of their songs, you know, acoustic guitar. And back then you don't really have, I mean, there's internet, but the way you practice guitars would be like buying those chord books, but they don't provide any tabs for acoustics, right? If you know what I mean. And so the only way to learn, you know, like to cover that song or to learn how to play it is to listen to it a million times. Yes, Mashu. Listen to it a million times and, you know, you get tired. And, you know, when I listen to MYMP, I mean, the guitar sounded natural. Although, as again, the treble can be very forward in a way that the cymbals and hi-hats are up front. I'm not saying that they have a natural timbre. No, the timbre is fine. It's just that it's up front. It's in front of you. That makes sense. So yeah, for the tonality, I think I'll give it a 2 for tonality. So it's not something that I like and love. So it's just, you know, because of that overall balance. Moving on to the bass, man, the bass on this, it's a freaking BA bass. But it's a very well done bass. It's one of the best out there. It's so fast, snappy, textured, fast decaying, and it just fits my preference. Maybe for you, you want like a thicker note weight, a bass that lingers more. I want my bass to be just as exactly like how Aful Cantor implemented this. It's so separated from the mix. You hear it at the center, and it's not even lacking with the fundamentals of the note of the bass. I noticed that bass line from, do you know, Mr. Suave by Parokya and Edgar? The bass lines on that, man, so good, so fast, and it's just so nice to follow those. So for me, bass, it's a 3. It's a 3 for me. I really like the bass on these. And it's surprising for a BA. Next, let's move on to the mids. Mids, they are clean sounding. Maybe it needs a little bit of heft for male vocals, but of course, you know, the male vocals didn't sound like females.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm so excited. Like, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. I cannot wait.
Because of how it presents mids, it's just clean sounding. Maybe you don't find them as emotive as other sets because of the overall tonality, but the mids on this are so clear. I was listening to, Yoasobi's Gunjo, the first take version. Man, when I was listening to that, I felt like I was in that studio because of how open sounding it was. I don't know, I was having goosebumps because, like ISA was talking to the group. She said like "Gakko mitai," like it's like a school or something, and everyone was laughing. And man, like the choir, was it Plasonica? I think I forgot, but yeah, maybe. This is so precise. It's like I hear every harmonics in the, not harmonics, I hear every harmony in the choir, because when you do harmonies, you usually listen in the third or the fifth. Man, it's so easy to follow those harmonies. It's so crazy. Also, Umakage, Yoasobi, Aimer, and Milet. Yeah. So because Aimer and Yoasobi, they were like, because Aimer usually have as like a lower voice, right? And Yoasobi is like high pitched, but sometimes Aimer sings in the higher notes. It was so distinct, it was so clear, and I was like, man, I didn't notice that with other sets. And yeah, it was great. So mids on this, I'm giving it a 3. Treble. Now here we go with the treble. So again, I didn't really like the tonality. I mean, it's just normal for me because of how the treble is being presented. It's too forward. However, I'd say that it's so detailed, but it's just too forward for my liking. And as I've said, like the crashes, the hi-hats, the cymbals, they sound natural, okay? They sound natural. I didn't feel any peaks or something. But it's just that it's just too forward. I mean, the decay is okay. It's actually very detailed, and because of the forwardness of the treble, it can be perceived as like cold sounding in a way. I don't know, like it's just so good. Not really good, but it's forward. But yeah, it's not something that it's normal for me. I actually like it, so I'm giving the treble 2.5. Yeah, an example for that would be, do you know Stereo Pony? They have this song Hitohira no Hanabiraga. The new ones on the guitars on that one, like I was like, it was crazy. I mean, I'm gonna talk about that in the text, because the text on here, it's just amazing. The separation and imaging is fine, but the separation is crazy precise. What I mean by that is, I was talking about the Stereo Pony, right? I could hear like the different nuances of the musicians when they are playing using the guitars or playing their different instruments. And I think because of that elevated treble, it kind of boosts the reverbs and the echoes of the song a little bit, and that creates a dimension wherein you hear those details more. I'm not saying that it wasn't before. It was like in different, I was listening to different set, it was there. It's just that it's now it's a little bit forward, making you feel like, oh, where did that details come from, but it's actually there. It's just that because of the tonality of the Aful, wherein the treble is forward and it's very airy, you hear those echoes clearly. So an example for that would be in the song Here Without You by Three Doors Down. The echo that they added on that and the reverbs were just so clear for the vocals. Spring Thief also by Yorushika, like I freaking didn't know that they added some echo on that, and how they mixed her voice, it was amazing. Now, I don't know, but for some of you, I'm not sure if you would appreciate this kind of tuning and technical prowess, I should say. The thing about Cantor is, if you have a background in music and you play instruments or you sing or you do mixing, you will have a lot of fun with these. Yeah, I had so much fun listening to the instruments and the voice, because literally new details pop out in a way. I mean, as I mentioned again, they were there. It's just that now they're more forward. And I'm not really surprised about the details per se that they're popping out, but I'm more surprised about the nuance that each musician do during recording. So my surprise is like, it's not really like, oh, those details are there. No, it's like, how did he do that? So if you play guitars, like it's not only that you appreciate the melody and stuff like that, you actually also appreciate the skill that that musician has. I'm like, how did he do that? You know, like, I mean, I couldn't even do it, you know, like they have fast hands, especially with Polyphia and stuff. So yeah, that's what I think about the Cantor. So I guess the scoring is 13.5, and I think that is an A+. It's not an S ranker for me, unfortunately, because again, this is price $799, so they fall under the 500 to 1000 category. And yeah, I do think that the details on the Cantor, they're comparable to some TOTL sets out there. If not, it's better actually than some. I mean, I've tried different TOTL sets before, the Anola VX when I was in Japan, and just, you know, like anything that I could audition there, yes, they do sound very detailed. And even with the Cantor, they don't really have ESTs as well. They're just very, very detailed. And I think the overall tonality has something to do with that. Not with the drivers per se, but just because the elevated air and treble gives you that feeling of high fidelity, if that makes sense. So what we have here in the 500 to 1000, I have the SA6 Ultra, the Monarch, the Variations, the Oracle, 7 Acoustic Supernova. Of course, I don't have these, like I've tried some of these, but if I were to compare this, maybe the Supernova, they're actually not pretty far graph-wise. There, look at that. As I've mentioned, you know, like tonality-wise, I feel like the Supernova is thicker in note weight, but it lacked a little bit of clarity for some reason. It sounded weird for me. I also didn't give an S for the Supernova. I think I give it A+. But yeah, I would say that if you like a thicker note weight, probably go for the Supernova. But if you like more details, then probably the Cantor would be good for you. Another one here that I have in comparison is the Let's Sure EJ 09. You also see there that the EJ09 has more bass, but in listening, it's not really like bassier. Because of that peak there around 10K, it's not a coupler peak. I think that's real amplitude there for the treble. It makes the overall things brighter. It's like, it makes music lighter, like that, you know, like when you think of a video, so it's just lighter because of that treble there. But I would say the Cantor also is better just because of the overall treble body, you know. Treble body? Where'd that come from? Another one I have here would be, again, the Duno SA6 Mark II. Again, I didn't really like the set, but the Ultras, I like it. I don't have the graph of the Ultras. I just only have the Mark II. No, I don't think that tonality is comparable there. It's not really comparable. It's just here because it's cheaper and it's in that price range in my category. Even if you see that the Duno SA6 Mark II is bassier, yes, maybe it's bassier, but the quality of the bass of the Cantor is just so, it's so good. It's just so good. Give me a comment down below if you want me to compare it to other sets. Maybe I've tried it, maybe I haven't. But yeah, I think that's what I think about the Cantor. Do I think you should buy this? Again, I told this before about Aful. Aful seems to know their market. They're not trying to make an all-rounder. Maybe there are sets that for all-rounders, but when they make releases, it's for a specific audience. Let's say, for example, the Explorer, man, it's so good in the bass. It's just it's a master of its own. The Magic one, it's a master of its own. The P8, it's a master of its own. And this one too, it's a master of its own. At $799, you get details. I mean, maybe if you're not sensitive to treble, if you like treble details, this is really a bang for the buck for this price. I mean, if you're audition, man, audition. I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm just one man's opinion. Yeah. The Aful Cantor.